If you could do it over, would you join the military? This question has a bit of complication involved. To begin with, I love America, and I have always thought it was a special country, ordained and blessed by God, receiving blessings that perhaps no other nation outside of Israel has ever received. When the World War II generation joined the military and went to war, there were clearly defined issues and politics which seemed to truly pit evil against good and freedom against tyranny. Germany and Japan were imposing political oppression as rarely seen on earth. Our survival as a free nation and free Europe were dependent on the defeat of the totalitarian leadership of the day. A generation later, our government leaders led us into world political conflicts that were not nearly so clearly defined, and many questioned the legitimacy of our involvement in such conflicts, particularly in Vietnam. During my college years from 1967 to 71, my military classification was deferred as a student. Upon graduation and entering the workforce, my classification was changed to 1A, meaning I was fully eligible to be called into military service. At that time, my theological studies into the worldwide Church of God led me to believe that military service was contrary to loyalty and obedience to the will of God. I looked into registering as a conscientious objector, which application was denied by my local draft board. In those days, there was a national lottery which assigned eligibility for military according to one's birthday, and in which order the birthdays were selected in the lottery. In 1971, my lottery number was 181 out of the possible 365 days on the annual calendar. The Vietnam conflict was in full-blown warfare, and the young men who were called for service had a very high chance of being assigned to combat in Vietnam. The Lord was apparently watching over me very closely as my local draft board called up through number 179 on the lottery list, missing my draft number by 2 digits. After that, I was no longer in immediate danger of being drafted into the military service. I had done a great deal of mental gymnastics and personal internal wrestling with military service due to religious convictions and due to the very questionable politics surrounding the Vietnam War. I was very thankful the decision was made for me by not having been called to service at that time. If I had to do it over again under those circumstances, I would most likely not join the military service. Had circumstances been different and our national freedom been at stake, even now I would be much more likely to offer my services to our nation for defense. I would certainly rather choose service in a military band or chorus as opposed to combat, but one does what is most needed in dire times. Lack of trust in our national leadership since the days of the 1960s has reduced confidence in corrupt political leadership to properly assign our military forces around the world. It's a tricky conundrum at best.